In today's video, we are going to be reading our poems that we read yesterday. During our intervention group time today, we will be writing our poems together. When we get to the end of our story, be sure to be thinking of what pet you would like to write about in your poem and what are some rhyming words that you also want to include in your poem. So let's get started rereading our story, and then a little bit later when you have your reading group, we'll be writing our poems, so make sure you're ready to go. For today's lesson, we are going to be reading a poem. Our poem is called Pet Poems. The genre is poetry. Poetry uses words to describe pictures and feelings. Listen for interesting words in each poem. Clap along with the rhythm or beat. Our text focus is rhyme. Words rhyme if they have the same ending sound. Which poems use words that rhyme? Let's read our poem, Pet Poems. As we're reading through it, you may have heard some of these poems before. This poem began as a folk song. Read it along with your class, then sing it together. So first we will read through our poem, and then we will sing it. Bingo. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that poem before. Now let's sing it, and we'll clap along with the rhythm or beat in our poem. Are you ready? Let's get started. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. Did you sing along with me at home? I hope you did. I could hear some of you singing from all the way over here. Now, can someone in our class read this poem in Spanish? Let's listen to it, and then we will read it again in English.
Caballito blanco, re blanco. Caballito blanco, re blanco. Sácame de aquí. Llévame hasta el puerto, donde yo nací.
Here is the poem in English. Little white horse. Little horse, white as snow, take me where I long to go. Take me to the port by the sea, where I was born and long to be. You may have noticed in our poem, Little White Horse, we heard a lot of rhymes. Snow, go, see, be. All of these words had the same ending sound. That is why we could hear them rhyme. Let's read one more poem. What kind of pet would you like to have? Would you like a furry pet, or a pet with scales. This poem is called Pet Snake. No trace of fuzz, no bit of fur, no growling bark or gentle purr, no cozy cuddle, no sloppy kiss. All he really does is hiss. In this poem about the pet snake, we also saw a lot of rhyming words. We had fur, purr, kiss, hiss. In this selection today, we got to read 3 different poems: Bingo, Little White Horse, and Pet Snake. Now, I want you to write about a pet. Write a poem about a pet. Use words with the same beginning sounds. Use some rhyming words, too. For the next part of our lesson, we are going to be reading our decodable, Big Problems, by Jackson Prescott, illustrated by Sherry Halpern. As we're reading through our story, be looking for words that have double O. This makes the sound in words. For example, the word cook. Cook is spelled C-O-O-K. K. The double O makes the sound. Be sure to be following along with me at home as we read through Big Problems. Ray is a boy. He has a dog. Ray's dog is Dennis. Dennis had problems that began when he was just a pup. Dennis was much too big to fit in his dog bed. It was a problem. Dennis needs a big bed, said Ray. Yes, Dennis needs a big bed. Ray gave Dennis big, soft, yellow pillows. Did Dennis like his yellow bed? Dennis did. It was nice and soft. Better yet, it was big. As Dennis got big, his problems got big as well. It was hard for Ray to take Dennis for a walk. This is a problem, said Ray. It is a big problem. So Ray began to ride on, not walk, with Dennis. Did Dennis like this? Dennis did. Did Ray like this? Ray did like it. Dad did too. No problem, said Ray. As Dennis got big, so did his problems. When Dennis stood up, he did not fit in his doghouse. You need a big house, said Ray. We can make a big house for Dennis, said Dad. So Ray, his sister, and his dad made a big house for Dennis. Dennis and Ray can fit in the big house. Dennis likes that. Ray likes it too. Dennis and Ray like to be together. No problems, said Ray. What a great story for us to read about Ray and his big dog, Dennis. This story reminds me of a character I know from another book. When we began to talk about how big Dennis was getting, how he outgrew his bed, and eventually Ray could ride on Dennis, and even his house got too small. This reminded me of Clifford, the big red dog. He outgrew everything, and they had to build a special doghouse for him as well. Now let's move on to our next activity for our reading lesson. To end our lesson, I am going to have you complete an activity in our Reader's Notebook. On page 117, we are going to be spelling and writing words with the vowel digraph OO. That is the double O sound that we have been working with this week. I want you to write each group of spelling words in ABC order. So what this means, when you think of your ABCs, A, B, C, D, you guys know them. Look at the first letter of each of the words in the column and write them in ABC order. All of the words in the spelling box are split into two categories. So you will spell these 5 words in alphabetic order, and then you will write and spell these 5 words in alphabetical order. For example, on this first column here, I have the words look, good, book, hood, wood. So since I'm writing them in ABC order, I am going to look through my ABCs, look for an A. No, none of these words start with an A. B. The word book begins with a B, so I'm going to write the word book first. And if you want, as you're working through, you can cross out the word here. You can cross it out in the big box, either way. So now I have book. I'll look for C. No words begin with C. D, E, F, G. There's one. So you will look through all of the words and write them in alphabetical order, so A, B, C order. We will check your answers during your reading intervention time. So remember, the left side of the column, so this one column, you are only using these 5 words. In the second column, you are only using these 5 words to put in A, B, C order. We will check your answers during your intervention time, so make sure you have it completed by then. I will see you then.